How's it going today, guys? My name is JSP, and today we are talking about how Tom Brady retiring possibly helps the Bears in the long run in this upcoming draft. Now, it doesn't help them directly, obviously, but the way I see it is there are teams like the Raiders, that's just for example, like the Raiders, who rumored to be after Tom Brady, who could unite with Davante Adams. You know, he could have went there. There were rumors that that was a possible destination for Tom Brady this offseason. It didn't happen. Tom Brady retired this morning, and I'm here to talk about how Tom Brady retiring could possibly be beneficial to the Bears. Now, there's many reasons. The Raiders are a team that is probably looking for a new QB. I don't think they're going to be rolling with Jared Stidham. I don't think they're going to be rolling with Jared Stidham. They need a new QB. They need a young QB. Davante Adams is going to be there for the long haul, or I think it was like a 6-year deal with him. He said, if I'm going to be here, if I'm not going to be traded, I want to be working with somebody for a while. I don't want to go from QB to QB to QB. So I don't personally think Tom Brady was going to go there, but I wasn't going to rule it out. You never know. So Tom Brady retiring and him not going to the Raiders is saying, hey, we need a new QB. We should trade up. So in my opinion, there was rumors. The Raiders were looking to get Tom Brady this offseason and see if he could come join Davante Adams and company. Now, since Tom Brady is off the board, they have a new competitor. The people who wanted to trade for the number 1 overall pick, they have a new competitor, as in the Raiders, which could create more value and competition for other teams looking to get a new QB, because there's a lot of teams looking for a new QB. This is a QB heavy draft. Now, it's not as much as 2021. That was a very, very QB heavy round 1 draft. Last year was dry. It was really dry with QBs. This is another year where it's just QB heavy in the first round at least. There's going to be people competing for the top QBs because there's a lot of teams that need QBs, like a Washington, like the Saints, like the Raiders, like the Panthers, like the Colts, like the Texans. There's a lot of teams that need a QB. And this means most likely more compensation for the first overall pick, because when it comes to more teams competing for the first overall pick, and it looks like we're going with Justin Fields, I'm not going to believe that report until I hear it from the main man himself, King Poles. I'm just not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe any reporter. I'm not going to believe any of that until I hear it out of his mouth. But it most likely means more compensation for the first overall pick, because if the Raiders want it, if the Texans want it, if the Colts want it, if somehow the Saints want it, I can go on and on. If there's a bunch of teams that want this first overall pick, if they absolutely fall in love with Bryce Young or CJ Stroud and they want to guarantee get that guy, how do you guarantee get that guy? You trade for the number 1 overall pick, because there's nobody picking before you. It's a guarantee that you get your guy. So it's more compensation because there's more demand for it. So when there's low supply and high demand, you usually get more out of it. That is how the economy works. That is how the economy has always worked. And if you look at the NFL draft like an economy, it's pretty much the same thing. So, in my opinion, the Raiders only have a few options. All right, Tom Brady is off the board. So, option 1, you trade for Aaron Rodgers. to reunite with Devontae Adams. And honestly, I think the Raiders are a win now team. They just need to get that position right and maybe like shuffle around a few positions, and maybe a few more positions need some changes. But the Raiders, they got the tools. Okay, they just need a high-level quarterback or a young quarterback, and maybe they'll be competitive a few years down the line. But that's one option. Trade for Aaron Rodgers. Two is you trade for the number 1 overall pick, and you guarantee get your quarterback that you want. Now, I don't know if Ryan Poles will want to trade all the way down to 7, but we'll have to see, because it depends really what the package that we're trying to get from the Raiders. That is really what it is. And the third option is the Raiders stay at 7, because I don't know if any team, maybe the Seahawks, will trade away that pick, but I don't know if they're sticking with Geno Smith, so I'm not going to rule that out completely. But maybe they stay at 7 and possibly get Will Levis if they like him enough. You never know. I don't know. I doubt CJ Stroud will be there. Bryce Young will not be there at 7. So I don't see, if they really like a CJ Stroud or a Bryce Young and they don't like Will Levis, they're going to have to trade up, because I don't see either of those two QBs being there at 7. So if they don't like a Will Levis, but they like the other two QBs, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, whatever, they have no choice but to trade up. I don't know if it's for the first overall pick, but who else do you have? You have Houston, who needs a QB. They could be a competitor for the first overall pick. You have Arizona, who can possibly trade down to 7 because they don't need a QB. I don't know 100% what they're doing. They have a new GM who maybe doesn't like Kyler Murray. Who knows? It's confusing in Arizona. And I don't even know if Kyler Murray will even be able to play next year. So I'm not going to rule that out either, of them not taking a QB, because it is 100% possible. And then you have Indianapolis, who pretty much said they would move mountains, they would give up the world for a new QB that they fall in love with. You have Denver to Seattle. Seattle might be sticking with Geno Smith again. Again, I'm not ruling that out, that they might pick a quarterback, because you never know. Geno Smith, in my opinion, is not the answer there. They just need consistency, and Geno Smith was really good in the beginning of the year, and then the second half of the year he kind of fell off. The Lions, there's no point of trading with the Lions because they're one spot above them. So really there's only two options. I guess there's three options. You either stick where you're at and hope to God one of the two QBs you like falls to you, which is totally possible. It's totally possible, but you have to gamble that. It's literally just gambling. Trade for the number 1 overall pick with the Chicago Bears, or you trade for Aaron Rodgers. Or I guess a fourth option, you stay with Derek Carr. And they haven't traded him yet. The deadline to trade Derek Carr is February 15th or something like that, unless they're going to take like a $40 million cap hit. And I don't think they want to do that just for him to sit at home. So it's just Tom Brady retiring and him being off the table makes them a little bit more desperate. That's all I'm trying to say. It's not like really, really helping the Bears, but it makes them a little bit more desperate to... I don't know if I'm just babbling, but it definitely helps the Bears a little bit at least. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. I can't even do my outro today. It's 9 o'clock at night. I had a long day at work, but thank you guys so much for watching. Bear down. I'll see you later.